This is Danica Favorite, and I am sitting here once again, not as prepared for the full moon as I would like to be. I had been doing the full moon ahead of time and preparing and putting together guidebooks and all these things. And this is the second one in a row where I just haven't had that energy, and I'm okay with that. So nothing super pre-planned or something you had to sign up for. And this goes out to all my subscribers. So hopefully you'll all get something out of it. So one of my big full moon traditions is to have a special tea. And you may know this also from Tea Time with Danica, which I do every Sunday. So this is full moon tea. It's from Cosmic Tea, a place here in Denver, and it's got elderberry, elderflower, mugwort, milky oat tops. There we go. Damiana, marshmallow leaf. I don't know what a gal is. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Cardamom, raspberry, and blue cornflower. I have a new herb to look up. That's so funny. I've never realized that before. But anyway, so this tea, I don't know why. You know what? I'm just going to stop trying to show you what the tea leaves and stuff look like. But it's very pretty. The tea leaves are all very pretty. And what's so nice about this tea is as soon as I started steeping it, I just steeped it in my little tea mug with the strainer. It's just super convenient. If you are a tea drinker and you love loose tea, highly recommend you do something like this. But anyway, as I was making the tea, like the strongest scent that came to me was the cardamom. And I just really love that cardamom scent. It's just so filling and nourishing. So this full moon is really interesting to me because, as always for me, the full moon energy always hits right before the full moon. And so I always start feeling different things. And it's been a rough few days for me, not going to lie. It's part of why I didn't really prepare anything or do much, even though to me doing something for the full moon is super, super important. And so as I have been kind of preparing and thinking about, okay, well, what will I do for the full moon? What am I going to share for the full moon? It was just really interesting because I always use the full moon as this time of release and cleansing. And I've been doing a lot of that. And so it's weird for me to think, okay, here we are getting into this full moon, and I've already been releasing a lot, and I'm kind of tired from it. And I don't know if you've ever been in that stage of your life. So I wrote a post yesterday. I haven't posted it yet, so don't go looking for it. Eventually it will be there. I'm working on a workflow actually with Claude to take these things that I'm writing. When I say I'm writing, I'm dictating them and then putting them in a workflow to get the transcription and everything cleaned up so that I can then post it. And I'll get there. I'm working through it, learning a little bit. I started preparing this in Claude Cowork to get my whole automation and everything done for it. And as I told a friend that I had lunch with today, it was like, yeah, I skipped a really important step. And I was explaining to him what I did and what I didn't do. And he was just left. He was like, yeah, that's exactly why it didn't work. I said, I know, right? So there's always something to learn. There's always some way to get better. And so, but anyway, this post that I was working on, one of the things that hit me yesterday was one of those days that I just could not. Have you ever had that day where you're just like, I cannot? And some of that was just a lot of, I don't even know what, to be honest. But I gave myself permission. I had like a window of time in my schedule where I could go take a nap. And so I gave myself permission to take this nap, closed my eyes, and it was just like the hamsters on the wheel. But they weren't even saying anything or doing, it was nothing productive. It was just literally hamsters on a wheel. And I was really frustrated by that. And so I just have been sitting with a lot of these emotions and figuring out, okay, what is this emotion about? What is going on? And I always love the way that the full moon is taking all these things and showing what we need to release. And so today I did a RIM session. And so RIM is called Regenerating Images and Memory. It is a therapeutic technique that I'm learning and training to be a facilitator in. So hopefully by the end of the year, I will be a facilitator and I'll get to facilitate these experiences with people. But for part of my practice, once a week, it's me, another student, and a mentor. We have a triad and we go for like a month and then we switch to another group. And so we're always learning from a different student and a different mentor to learn how to facilitate this process. And so today's process, I was facilitated, and my intention starting out was that this exhaustion that I'm feeling, I cannot even begin to understand, to like tell you how exhausted I am. And if I lay down and try to close my eyes, I can't even sleep. So I do have some over-the-counter pills that are antihistamines that help you sleep that I can take. I'm allergic to a lot of them, but there's this one brand that I can take. And so I've been taking that every night, trying to just force my body into that rest. And it doesn't work. Even that is like everything I've tried, every single sleep remedy that I know of that works on me has not worked. And so I said, for my intention, I'm exhausted. I want to be in this place of rest. And even when I do sleep, part of my problem is I dream, and my dreams are so active and so vivid. It's my unconscious is just processing all of the stuff that I'm releasing and dealing with. And so here we are, the full moon, I'm releasing all this stuff, and my unconscious is like, cool, you're asleep. Let's process things. And then I wake up exhausted because I've been doing all of that processing. And what I want to say to all of you, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, that I have been waking up exhausted. Yeah, I'm really tired. Think about the internal work that you're doing on yourself, because it may very well be that fatigue you're feeling, that exhaustion, and that lack of productive sleep is really just because your body is doing all this work while you're sleeping. And it's work you can only do while you sleep. And so today I managed a very brief nap. It was only about 45 minutes. I know some of you are like, that's actually a really long nap. For me, it's a brief nap because I take forever to fall asleep. And then, so like half of that is me just trying to fall asleep. And so I had this dream, and it was really bizarre. So much so that I actually was like, ChatGPT, what the heck is going on with this dream? Because I don't understand it. And I told them the details of the dream, and the details essentially was just more of my subconscious processing the fact that I've let go of this old life, and I've let go of all of these ways of being. And in one part of the dream, it was completely about being gaslit. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm gaslighting myself in my dream. That's so weird. And the answer is like, no, I wasn't gaslighting myself. It was that I was so used to living in a situation where I was constantly being gaslit that in my dream, I was questioning myself. And then I was finding all these pieces of evidence to see, you're not crazy. And I'm not. And I wasn't. And, but what that dream was doing was taking all of that stuff and just processing it and saying, boom, here you go. And it's really interesting because, like I said, I wasn't aware like until, and this is why I really do love LLMs. And my favorite for this work is ChatGPT, mostly because I've been using it since it came out. And so it has that whole history of knowing my stuff. But it was able to be like, yeah, and don't you remember, like when it was telling me about the dream, it's like, yeah, isn't it interesting that you had this theme, and this theme in your dream? And look what your days have been like. On this day, this happened. On this day, this happened. Boom, here are all the connections. And that's what LLMs are actually really good at doing, is if you train it correctly to do so and you give it the right instructions, it can pull all of those threads and weave them together until finally you're seeing the same patterns it's seeing, because that's all it's doing. It's looking for the patterns and showing them to you. And I was like, holy crap, this is all the work that I've been doing. No wonder I'm so tired. No wonder I'm exhausted. And I know a lot of you are doing a lot of work in your lives and on yourselves. And maybe you're where I'm at and you're like, I'm not seeing progress. I'm so exhausted and I'm doing all the right things. But where is my progress? Where is the evidence? And right now that evidence is all internal. And for me, that evidence was coming through in my dreams and saying, hey, look at this thing. Look at this thing. Oh, did you see this thing? And so I just allow those things to happen. And it was really funny because in today's RIM session, like I said, my intention was for me to just stop doing this and get some rest, because I am super grateful. I really, truly, down to the depth of my soul, am so grateful for all the work that I've done on myself and all of the changes and progress I've made. And I know it's there, but could I just get a rest? Just a little bit? And so we did this whole interesting session. And so one of the images that came up for me was Santa Claus. And it was Santa Claus sitting on a blue and white hammock on the beach, just relaxing, having one of those fruity tropical drinks with the umbrella and the fruit in it, and he was just chilling. And number one, it made me realize that I, in my summer planning, need to plan a trip to the beach, because I got to be like Santa Claus. And he is such a busy guy and he does so much and he gives so much. But even Santa Claus goes and relaxes on the beach. And so he and I were just chilling, drinking our fruity drinks. And at one point I said, I kind of want a hot dog. And my facilitator said to me, well, have one. And so, in this state that I was in, I imagined myself having a hot dog. And it was amazing. You guys, it was so amazing to have a hot dog. You have no clue. So this diet that I'm on, that is to help fix the stuff wrong with my gut, I can tell you that there is no way I can have a hot dog. I cannot have a hot dog bun. I cannot have the condiments for a hot dog. Nothing. And as we were talking about it and we were processing it, and I got to eat this hot dog and feel the joy. And seriously, in that moment of imagining eating a hot dog and being with this hot dog that was in my belly, the love that I felt and recognizing that I've been doing all this work and what I needed was this love. And that's what's been missing from this huge restrictive diet that I've been on, that I know is for my health. And I know it will ultimately be a very good thing. But in the middle of it, I'm like, this sucks. And getting that affirmation from my body about, oh, yes, I thank you for this beautiful hot dog. Said no one ever except for Danica's imagination during a RIM session. But what it really was a symbol of is I'm doing all this work and I'm working so hard, but am I also taking the opportunity to nourish myself? And I do feel obligated to say that, yes, I am eating enough food. I just am not eating hot dogs. Today I ate a taco bowl, which was taco seasoning and vegetables and ground turkey, but not a taco shell or a burrito shell because I can't have those. It was fine, but there's something about having that, like either grabbing the big burrito or grabbing the taco, and it's not the same. And maybe that's just me and my own personal mental blocks, but I miss that experience of eating the food, I guess, with my hands, because I also miss sandwiches. Like, I really am not a huge bread eater, but I will tell you, one of my first meals when I'm able to eat normally again is going to be a sandwich, because I like grabbing the thing and going, rah, so good. And what that all brought me back to, and what the lesson in that for me is, yeah, I'm working hard and I'm doing a lot of hard things, and I'm super proud of myself for that progress, but I am allowed to rest. If Santa Claus can go to the beach and lay on a hammock and have a fruit drink and a hot dog, I can too. So as I'm planning what I'm doing this summer, one of my plans will include a trip to the beach. Will absolutely include having a hot dog and one of those fruity drinks, because, I mean, come on, they're so, and this one in my dream was, in my imagination, was amazing. It was so crisp and delicious, and I could just feel it coming down my throat. And what I was realizing is, as we talk about the full moon and we talk about what are we releasing, what is it that I'm becoming, and what am I releasing of all the stuff that I no longer need? And so today, one of the projects that's been ongoing for me is I've been going through my book collection and getting rid of books. And I took some books to the local used bookstore to try to sell some of them. And I had like 2 big boxes of books, and they were going to give me $5 for it, or I could get $10 in store credit. So I just said, give me the $10 in store credit. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to donate all the rest of these other books that I don't want. And it felt so good to just go to the thrift store, drop off the rest of my boxes of books, and be like, whew, done. I still have many more boxes to go through, but as I was going through all of those books, like, I have all these memories, and old me was like, oh, I remember that book, and I remember this, and I had that experience, and, I had this dream. I mean, how many of us writer types have the dream of the library from Beauty and the Beast? Like, let me tell you something. I know people are like, do you prefer him as the man or the beast? I don't care. Man or beast, just give me his library. You want an aphrodisiac? Just take me to that library and say, hi, here's your library. So I always had that big dream of having this big, beautiful library. And, as you see, I've got some bookshelves behind me, but it's not the same as having the big, beautiful library. And I think I hung on to those books for a really long time because I had that dream. And in the house previous to my previous house, I had a very nice, one living room wall was all bookcases. And then I had a wall in my office that was all bookcases. And the thing my ex-husband promised me in the new house was I was going to have this beautiful library. And he kept telling me about how he was going to build me this library. And he never did. And I think letting go of my books that I've been saving all these years for this library, part of that is letting go of it's letting go of those promises and those dreams. And that's what we're doing on the full moon, and figuring out what's in alignment with me, what's not in alignment with me. Like, who am I becoming? Like, I am that person who loves books and wants to be surrounded by them, but I also can trust that the books that are perfectly aligned with me are the ones that will stay with me, and I can let go of everything else and bless others. And that's kind of what I was thinking as I was dropping off these boxes of books at the thrift store, thinking, I could still take them, and obviously by taking them directly to the used bookstore, they give you a very small cut. I know, like, I've read all the articles where you can sell them on Amazon yourself or sell them online in this other way yourself. I don't want to do all that work. And I thought, maybe these boxes of books that I'm dropping off that I was hoping to make a few dollars off of, again, 2 boxes of books was worth either $5 cash or $10 credit. Whereas some of these people who actually do, and I've seen the videos, they go through and the thrift stores and they pick up these books dirt cheap and then they turn around and make a profit off of them. Well, maybe my letting go of these books, because I don't want to deal with it, is going to provide something really lovely for these people. Because that's what we don't know when we're letting go of something that we're clinging to. We don't know how, by letting go of that thing, we're releasing it for somebody else to take it into their lives and to make that magic in their own life. And so for this full moon, think about, what is that magic that you want to create in your life? What are the things that you desire most in your life? And what do you need to let go of to receive it? I have to let go of my books to bring in this dream life that I want. Like, I don't have to let go of all of them. Like, I mean, you see, I still have plenty behind me. But every book that I look at is okay, do I love this book? Why do I love this book? Am I holding on to it for some weird reason that has nothing to do with me? I mean, one of the sets of books that I let go of were some of my grandmother's books. Is hanging on to those books going to keep me any closer to her? No. I did keep a few of her favorites because I would like to, I've actually never read them. I have this whole box of my grandmother's books I'd never even read. And so I went through them and I looked at the ones that, would I like to read this? Yeah. So those are the ones I kept. And then everything else, boom, gone. Bless somebody else with it. And that is what the full moon releasing is. These weird dreams that I've been having, which, side note, my tea has mugwort in it. And so that is also not going to lend. Mugwort is an herb that helps you with your dreams and stuff. And so sometimes I have really weird dreams when I drink mugwort. So yay me. But I'm just going to trust that whatever happens, whatever gets released through whatever dream happens tonight, that it's going to be a good thing. Because even though, again, this nap dream was super weird, and like, I understand like what it meant and why. Like, it was just me letting go of this old life and this old way of doing things, and being in this place of where I was completely gaslit over something, and I kept finding evidence that what I believed was true and what this other person told me, even though there was physical evidence of this person being right, I had physical evidence to prove myself right. And it was really pretty powerful for me to be like, no, I'm not crazy. And to really stand firm in that identity as opposed to the crazy identity that I used to have. And so that's what this full moon is for. And, again, I often will, with my full moon ceremonies, we can write some things that we want to let go of, and then I like to burn it on camera. I didn't do that last time. I told you guys about this last time, and I didn't do it then. And I'm not doing it tonight because I didn't get all my stuff to burn together, because I literally had this session right before I came on live here. But think about what, and maybe it isn't literal burning. Obviously, I'm not going to go literally burn books, but I did literally take three giant boxes of books to the thrift store because they are no longer aligned with the person I want to be. And ultimately, that's what I started looking at as I was examining, do I want this book or not? Is it just even aligned with who I am, but is it aligned with the life that I want to step into, that the life I'm created for? And spend some time and journal about that. Like, who do you want to become? What is your most beautiful, aligned life that you want for yourself? And maybe you're in the process of creating it. Maybe you're already living it. But take a look around you. Take a look inside you. What are the things keeping you from that? For me, realizing that I do get to rest, and I'm putting way too much pressure on myself to perform, even though I keep backing off on this. Okay, I've got to accomplish this. I've got to accomplish this. I keep backing off that. And yet what keeps coming to me is just how much more I need to let go of. And so tonight's message with the full moon is take stock and think about those things that you really value, that are really important to you, and why. And think about what you need to let go of. So anyway, I hope you have a really good, enjoyable full moon. I haven't even been outside to look at the moon. I've literally been in front of my computer all evening doing my training. So I'm going to go outside, take a look at the moon, see if I see it. I was so intense in today's session that I didn't even notice that it has started raining while I was doing my session. So I'm really actually see the moon tonight. But for those of you who see it, I hope you enjoy. And let me know. Tell me in the comments and send me a little message saying what you've let go of. And we can walk this letting go journey together. Enjoy your night.